Atheists deserve hell. Why? I'll tell you why.
Please, enlighten me.
I am part of an interfaith club. We have many different groups: Muslims, Jews, and Christians, of course. However, recently atheism was correctly labeled a religion, so that club was not directly funded by the school. But due to this, the atheist club was unfortunately allowed to be involved in the interfaith organization.
Well, atheism is just simply the lack of religious belief. Now, why atheists might be allowed in an interfaith club would be because they have something to contribute to that, wouldn't they? I mean, sure, it might not be something you normally hear, or it might not even be something you want to hear, but it's a dissenting opinion on a particular subject area, in this case, theism. So, I don't see what the problem is.
So anyway, about a week ago, we had an event hosted by our interfaith organization to raise money for autism awareness. And all the religious organizations were there. And you can see where I'm getting at with this. All of the religions came, even the atheists. So all of us had little booths with pamphlets about information about autism and happy upbeat pro-life messages. Since as Christians, we feel that every life is equal and shouldn't be aborted. Every child is equal, no matter what they're born with.
I laugh at the hypocrisy of you pro-lifers, especially you religious pro-lifers. It just blows my mind that you think that every life is worth cherishing and means everything to you, and yet, at the very beginning of the video, you said that atheists are condemned to hell, and that you would be perfectly okay with allowing every single atheist in this world to suffer unbearable agony for the rest of eternity.
But this is not what the atheists thought, and I'll get to that in a minute, what they did. So while all the religious groups were talking at their respective booths, the atheists didn't. They all came wearing their black t-shirts with the red A and the "None Who Doeth Good" on the back, walking all around in a big group, making jokes, laughing, high-fiving, giggling at all of our booths, especially the Christian ones. Now before I get to what their jokes were, I just want to point out how much money each group made in total, because this will really show this will really piss you off after I tell you about this. Okay, so the second lowest amount raised was by the Muslim Student Alliance, which rose about $50. But this is expected because they only had about 3 members, so they couldn't really talk to as many people. Okay, but the largest amount raised, which was by us Christians, of course, we rose a total of $716.12. And we were rightfully proud, because that's an amazing gift for this organization. It'll make us look like beautiful. This will make us look just like we are good people, and this proves it.
Wow, I really don't believe you. I don't know what to say. Because the sad thing is, you're not alone. That's the really sad part. Even moderate religious people like you can be like this, and that saddens me quite a lot. What do you mean, you might ask? So, you would condemn everyone to suffer unbearable agony for eternity, and with the same mouth, you dare say that you're a good person, because you've raised a few dollars for charity.
But guess how much the atheists rose? Guess. $0. The atheists rose $0.
What exactly are you trying to get at? So you raised more money than a certain group of people, you're automatically better than them? Is that what you're trying to get at?
You know about their jokes. This is what, hey, so they read out our pamphlets, they took them, and they just took them away and read them to each other in little groups. They're walking around, and they were chuckling amongst themselves, saying things like, "The Bible tells me so," and they're just laughing at each other like this is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in their life, that we actually care about autistic people. They thought that was funny.
As there is not enough information for me to determine accurately whether or not you're telling the truth, I will assume that you are. in this case, then yes, I totally agree that they're assholes. But being atheist has nothing to do with the fact that they're assholes. Like I said before, there are assholes on both sides of the fence. Now, if you want my honest opinion, though, I think you are under a very gross misconception that I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't be that assholish as to laugh at people who support raising awareness for autism. I don't think there are a lot of people who are that big of douchebags. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people who find that reading a book of ancient desert fairy tales and using it to guide your life and your moral system is pretty hilarious. And I'd have to kind of agree that it's fairly ludicrous that people use the Bible and other scriptures like it to guide their life and their morality and to tell them how to be good, as if they couldn't be good by any other means. Yeah, I do find that a little ludicrous, and I do understand why people might laugh at that.
But when we're talking to a young Christian couple who actually had an autistic son present, they looked like they're no more than 7 years old. Okay, we were talking to them about how it was wonderful that this family chose to carry the autistic baby to term, even though they knew in the womb that it would be autistic. And we said how it was very Christ-like to have a pro-life stance, because every life is beautiful.
I don't want to sound like I'm over-interpreting, but I think the potential implications of what you just said are pretty ugly, to be honest. So if a couple didn't do as that Christian couple did, and they did decide to terminate their child, knowing that the child would have had autism when it was born, well, they're not very Christ-like, are they? So where do you think they're gonna go? Hell, right? That's what you believe, right? That's what you like to believe, and that's what you propagate to others. So parents who cannot support a child with a disability, a child who would have lived a very potentially dangerous and poor lifestyle with parents who can't support their disability, and you would say that those parents are deserving of hell when all they did was try and terminate their child out of mercy? That's pretty disgusting, in my opinion. Yeah.
The atheists didn't like that. They overheard the conversation that we were having with that family. I'm sorry, hold on. Okay, sorry. Okay, one of the atheists said to this family, and this is a direct quote, they said, "If it has a squish face, better hit a board." And all of them burst out laughing. Enjoy your stay in hell, atheists. You sure deserve it.
I'm not laughing at the fact that there were people insensitive enough to laugh at someone disabled with autism. I'm not laughing at the fact that atheists happen to be laughing at you and presumably others who were trying to support these people who are in need of support. I'm laughing because your message got so lost out there out of your desperate and rather pathetic attempt to threaten us atheists. You know, if you didn't decide to lash out in anger, and if you didn't decide to just say, "Oh, I hope you all burn in hell," I might have been on your side. In all honesty, if I did not know any other information, assuming the facts are as you've presented, I would have been on your side. But not now. For sure not now. Now you are free to believe as you want. But I think that any agenda being used as a sort of backdrop for charitable organizations, whether it's from Christians, from Muslims, or even from other atheists, I think that's fairly distasteful. Because people should not be trying to sell their religion or trying to sell their other point of view while trying to help other people. The atheists in this story, assuming you're telling the truth, were wrong in that regard. I totally agree. Even though you guys were trying to push a pro-life agenda and that came out of your mouth, even though you're trying to push a religious agenda, I think that they should have actually stuck to telling you guys that pushing a pro-life agenda was not cool, instead of making fun of your religion. That can wait for another day. And I don't think that was a very appropriate time to make fun of your religion. No, I definitely agree with you there. But just because a couple of atheists are assholes does not mean we all are assholes. Do you understand? And not only that, even if we all were like that, assuming we all were like that, do you really think that we deserve infinite punishment for a finite crime such as that? Is that moral justice to you? So I guess I'll finish off this video by saying the exact same thing I said to the last guy I addressed. If I really am going to hell, I guess I'll be seeing you there with me. May the truth always be heard.